Welcome to Beyond Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Petralis, and we got our man, John Sensabar, here today. And we are excited. This is a little bit of a different episode than usual, but we are actually here celebrating our 150th episode, which to us is amazing because when we had our 100th episode last July, one of our biggest goals was to be at 150 in a year from now. And we're in the middle of 2024, getting close to halfway through 2024. And we're at that 150 in July, like we kind of shot for. So, we thought about putting this episode together as a kind of to reflect a little bit over this last year and to really kind of talk about some of the accomplishments that we had and some of the great things that we did. So, super excited. And obviously, John's done a tremendous job. Anything you've watched that we've done, I mean, John has his hands on anything, and it just turns to gold. So it's been fun, but yeah, man, it's been a wild year, would you say?
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a lot of fun, and we definitely tried some new stuff. We've dipped into the pro sport a little bit with arena football and ultimate frisbee, which has been awesome. You've done a really good job down there, and they've asked you back all the time too, which is great. So a
Yeah.
lot of different things, a lot of fun stuff coming up too.
Yeah, and it's fun, dude. I mean, obviously those things are really cool, but something I want to ask you because I always pick and we always joke and we say this like whenever you make a video, you're always like, this is the best one. This is the best one. And like it always is, like it's always one better than the next. But was there a video this year to you, like making it from July to July, not necessarily from January to July, but that really just like stood out to you as like, man, this was either like fun to put together or you wanted to make sure you didn't mess anything up because it like meant a lot to you?
Yeah, I'd say two stick out to mind, and I don't want to sound like I'm favoriting my hometown, but Medford girls softball right off the bat, senior night for them. It's just because I know a lot of those girls. I've seen them play since they were little kids. So every single year that I'm watching the new seniors graduate, it's emotional, and I know my own's going to be graduating in a couple of years, but watching it, as a father and as a coach and what have you, you definitely feel a little emotional watching that. And it's always fun to put those together because you want to do the absolute best job you can because, these are memories for girls to watch, later on down the line. And then boys baseball too. I know we did two parts there. We did their senior night and then we did the Kelly Crowan Memorial game, which was awesome. And that's definitely one I didn't want to mess up. You got some great footage. Putting it together was, um, it's never easy when you're trying to make sure you're paying tribute to someone, and I hope we did a good job. I hope we did, that team, what they would do with the justice that was due. And those two definitely stick out in mind for me. But, everything
Yeah.
we've done this year has been great.
I mean, everything you do is great. And the baseball game to me too, like honestly, if I had to pick a video that I felt even taping that, like to be like in a semi-professional or former semi-professional baseball field, to walk with these kids like to the plate, like getting that for them and then being able to like put it on Instagram and tag them in it so they have it and send it. Like that's kind of a cool hearing your name getting on the big speaker and
Oh yeah.
walking to the plate with the bat in your shoulder and like you catch that. That was a lot of fun. And that was one like even after that game was over, like both teams were gone, and I was still in the dugout, just like going through all the footage that we had, almost just thinking the same thing. Like, man, I got to make sure that we have the best of the best clips, and I got to get rid of things because I recorded a bazillion things. But I sat there for like 45, 50 minutes after that game was over, and I went through the camera and I went through my phone, and I just made sure that like I deleted anything that was repetitive, anything that just didn't fit, and like man, that video was it was outstanding, dude. It
And it
really
just
was.
happened to catch, Kerry's son David making, the last play. It was just
Yeah.
you couldn't have written that up any better. And it was awesome. I remember when the game was over, you gave me a call. You're like, dude, wait till you hear this. And it was like, wow, that's really cool. So I was excited to put that together. And it was awesome. Really good job.
Yeah, and it was funny. I seen the baseball coach actually recently. I saw him like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, truthfully. It was like really shortly ago. And we were talking about that video specifically. And he said to me, he had thought about that last inning, putting David in actually the pitch. But the other kid was pitching so well. He's like,
It's
I
tough to
don't
do
really
that.
want, he's like, I really
Yeah.
want to win this game. Like, I don't want to fix something if it's not broken. And then
Yeah.
David actually made the last two outs at third base.
Oh
Really
yeah.
nice plays. And man, that's like, if that's not a sign of someone telling you like, no, like keep him here, like I don't know
Meant to
what
be.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
absolutely. Yeah,
But I agree with you totally, dude. Totally.
for sure. Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on. But no year's a year without any of its controversy. Why don't you tell us what's
Oh,
been going on lately? Because I think a lot of people have been asking and inquiring
are
what
we
the
doing
heck's
this
happened
here?
to
We're
them.
gonna do this
But you got to do this
here.
right now. Yeah, this is episode 150.
Yeah,
We're
I
putting
mean,
all
I
the
guess
cards on
we
the table,
gotta
pal.
we gotta do it.
Yeah,
All right, let me start from the beginning, people. Sit back, get your popcorn ready, I guess. But like, yeah, like obviously people know, like, because I've been getting messaged so much on Instagram, people being like, "What is this with rock paper scissors? Why do you keep randomly posting stuff on your story?" And I haven't really responded much, but like obviously people are smart. They catch on, they see what's going on. So like you guys know, I did the McGlynn morning show at my school, really cool, fun, involving like the kids, involving all the teachers. I mean, a weekly Friday thing. And John, you can test to it. Like I used to send you videos of like, dude, check this out. Look how much fun we're having. Like, and it wasn't even about that. It was like more for the school. So in March, all of a sudden, like I have like, long story short, I basically have like our union rep approach me and basically tell me that somebody like wrote an anonymous letter, like a cowardly anonymous letter saying that like what I did is unethical, immoral, that I'm making a profit off of it, and like some other like crazy stuff too. But like I'm looking in the camera, I think I can look straight up here, like I've never made a dollar off it. In fact, I probably have lost like $300-400 on it because I buy every week for like teacher giveaways, pies and flowers and gift cards. I've bought like rock, paper, scissors books for like our rock, paper, scissors tournament, not just for the kids that like win, but like all the kids that participate. Like,
I've
yeah,
lost
I'm
money on
not
rock
making
paper
that off
scissors
of
bets.
37 likes and 900 views. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
making it off of that. So, whoever thinks I'm making money off it, do your homework a little bit, I guess. But, yeah, so that happened. And then obviously, like, it's tough, man. Like I've been a teacher for 18 years. I run a lot of like programs, I've coached like in the community. So to hear like, you work hard and you do stuff, like you try to be different sometimes. I think in the profession of teaching, it's really cool to be different because you're in your classroom, in your element, you get to be who you are. And like, I mean, I'm not like trying to sound arrogant to say this, but like my test scores speak for themselves. So like my kids learn in class and they work hard, but we also have fun. And over the years, maybe as a teacher, I've learned how to balance that a little bit more. But yeah, so basically the morning show got shut down, and it was sad to me because I felt bad for the kids because kids were just like asking me nonstop, like, when's the morning show happening? When's the morning show happening? When's the morning show happening? And you don't know how to like really answer the question, but it was tough, I think, when your like names rubbed through the dirt and people calling you and saying that, and they sign it anonymously and people actually take it serious. Like
right.
that's just kind of like the crazy part to me.
Yeah, I think this whole thing probably would have been squashed if whoever it was able just to look at you and just say, "Hey, what's going on with this? Can you please explain a little bit more?" Because again, I saw that thing from its birth. You started it out, and all it did was gain traction each week, and it got bigger and bigger, and the kids were just enjoying it each week. I mean, I think I've said it before, but that final teachers championship in the auditorium there, that was unbelievable. It was just I would have killed to have something like that when I was in school.
I mean, imagine your favorite teacher like competing in that and you're going crazy for them in the auditorium. Like, talk about a morale booster, not only for the kids, but also the professionals, the adults, like my colleagues, like to have kids going crazy for you and high-fiving you and chanting your name when they had you 3 or 4 years ago, not even like currently or like a year ago, like a few years back. Like, how cool. How
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
And yeah, it's surprising, dude. I think that what's so interesting too is like I guess I'm complaining here, but you know what? Whatever. Like I'm taking my one shot at it. So wasn't expecting this. So I'm thinking of things as I go here too. But like we have school assemblies all the time, like whether that is school based, whether it's like something that our administration's running, or something that our ptg, they always get like awesome stuff that like comes in. So it could be like a dance group or whatever group that they have come in and do stuff, or it could be like for fun day or something like that. But every teacher's in there is recording with their phones and videotaping and taking pictures and posting it on their personal social media pages. There's nothing like unethical or moral about that. But like when I do it, it's a problem or there's something wrong with it. So I don't know if it's because of like my platform. Like I've heard that like I have a public platform and not a private platform, but like who do you think follows me? Like you
Yeah,
watch our
seriously.
content, dude. Like what is ever controversial about? Like I would dare anybody to go through all of our stuff, like all our podcast episodes, all our sports videos, anything that I've posted on social media, dig back through my stories. If you find something inappropriate, show me. Like
Yeah,
literally show me. Like I would
yeah.
love to see it. So I
I
think
edit
that
everything
that's
out.
why. You what?
Yeah, I said I edit everything
You
out.
edit it
Anything that's
all
like,
out.
yeah,
You edit it all
exactly.
out. But yeah,
Yeah,
and like even when we cover coaches and stuff like that, coaches give speeches, they might say something, a word might slip, and we're like, we get it. We
we
know,
cover
like
you.
you're in the
Yeah,
fire in the moment. Like, I'm not going, I'm gonna write to the MIAA that this person said and signing
yeah,
it anonymously. Like, that's what gets me. Like, if you have an issue, just say it. Like, you sign it anonymously and then you cower and you don't come forward with it
yeah.
when people start asking. I mean, dude, my building, like talk about like holding the dogs back. Like people were like mad and wanted to say stuff at staff. Like I just wanted it to go away. Like I just wanted it to go completely away because dude, like I had way too much going on in my life to be sitting here and having a battle about
Or
what I'm
something
doing
fun.
for children and that's
Yeah,
fun and spending money out of my own pocket to be called unethical and immoral and making a
yeah,
profit. And apparently when I videotape in the school, I'm providing a blueprint for people on the outside of what my school looks like. But
yeah.
when other people do it, they look the other way. So
I
like
think
it's
I
hard
think
not to take it personal.
another way to look at this too is you flip on the news, you watch a school committee meeting, you watch a city council meeting. It's been nothing but craziness for the most part. You hear about the divisiveness, you hear about horrible news stories all the time, but the one thing that's keeping the kids positive and a great thing that's happening in the school to try to squash it, it's unbelievable. It's insane.
And it's wild because even at the beginning of the year, like I approached certain teachers that I knew that kids loved in our school and like being on this show would make it even that much cooler or that much better. Like
Yeah,
I constantly ask for teachers to be a part of it. I constantly and teachers come to me, a door decorating contest that we did. I mean, anyone who knows me, I have like zero artistic ability. And here I am running this, and like my kids want to make the hardest thing like a Pac-Man door with all the I'm like, you guys know who your teacher is? Like so it's kind of, but we do it. Another teacher came to us about reading some things off announcements for her. We no problem. Even when we did our rock paper scissors, one of our kindergarten aides, she was unbelievable. She came in with dice, wooden dice for kids that maybe didn't have the ability physically to be able to do rock paper scissors shoot or couldn't comprehend the game. That they could just roll a dice that said rock paper. So talk about like community building and talk about inclusion and making everybody feel included no matter what your disability is. And because you're sour about something, you decide to write a hit piece about me. And again, sign it anonymously. I've said it 1,000 times, but like cowards sign things anonymously. Cowards do.
makes me question where and again, makes me question where that person's heart is, because as an educator, as a teacher, you should be doing nothing but trying to figure out a way to make the kids feel better about school,
Right.
and knocking down any barrier that there is and making them feel safe, making them feel like it's a fun environment. What's the point? What is the benefit of getting this taken off? It's just
Right.
it makes absolutely no sense to me. When you were telling me, even at the beginning of this, I had to like re-ask you like 6 times. I'm like, are you sure you're getting all this? Like, what the heck's happened to you? It's
Yeah.
just makes
Yeah,
absolutely no
you like
sense.
even like friends were like, dude, I'm like, I'm not exaggerating. This like literally happening to me. Like, and then I think the toughest thing is that obviously I chose it. Like I have this podcast and people laugh when I say this. Like I am a pretty quiet person. I don't like say certain things. I'm very good at keep my mouth shut about stuff. Like so I think when people say like, "Oh," I'm like, I'm not trying to make a big deal about this. Like everybody laughs, but it's like I'm literally just telling you the truth. Like I'm not trying to like this is real. Like everything I
Right.
just said to you is 100% fact. Like
Yeah.
anybody wants to come on and fact check me, go ahead. Like clearly you're part of it if you want to fact check something I say, but like that's how it like went down. And I think the toughest thing for me is again, it just like it was kind of a hit piece. Like that's the thing I took out of it the most. It wasn't like it was one thing that bothered them. It was clearly maybe a few things bothered them, but also personally they have an issue with me. Like that's how I read it. That's how I took it.
And they
I feel like
bundled it all into
most of
one
the
thing.
people that read it took it that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe except for those involved, I don't know. But like, I just, yeah, like to me, it's hard when your whole career you kind of dedicate to like going above and beyond your pay description or your pay, or going above your job description, or going above what most other people do. And because you find a little success with something that everybody else enjoys, you selfishly take it upon yourself to ruin it for other people, instead of just coming to the source and saying, hey, like if someone came to me and said, hey, Anthony, I think what you're doing X, Y, and Z, we need to change up because someone could take it this way, or adults might get upset about this, or administration could have a problem with that. Sure. I mean, I've had people come to me plenty of times telling me what and what not to do. I don't take it personal. I'm like, okay, they're listening, they're invested, they want to make sure this goes well. Cool. But to not even approach me and to just go directly for the jugular, like, yeah, it's hard when you have to sit in with your principal and have a conversation about something that you feel like you're getting annihilated on, and you can't even, like, I didn't speak up. Like, I wasn't going to be a squawking bird
Right.
and make a big deal about it. I kind of just took it on the chin and moved on. Like,
You don't have to get into crazy details, but I mean, you had meetings. I know you've had meetings
yeah.
about this. Was there anything that you could think of that, everything was checked out, right?
I mean, technically, technically, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, technically, my building reps from our union told me that I wasn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
My administration, the building, told me I didn't do anything wrong. And upper admin, I mean, they didn't tell me I was doing anything wrong. I mean, part of it was me being like, why should I do this if everybody is clearly like watching and squawking and like has something to say? Like, why should I put myself back out there to then be reattacked for something else, or being said like it, like, and I said, it's not like parents complaining. It's
Right.
not like, students got upset. Like, I mean, I don't know this, but like, I bet you if you checked our school attendance on a Friday, it was probably the best day of the week we
Probably
had.
highest.
And
Yeah.
I could be hypothetically say, I could be way off. It could be the worst. But I had a kid in my class. I'll put this in perspective. Like, and any teacher can say this, not just me.
Yeah.
Every year I always get a certain type of kid. And usually my class is always like, when specialists look at my class list, sometimes I think they go, whoa, that's a tough class, or that's a loaded class. And I never look at it like that. Like, honestly, I truthfully never look at my list until school's about to start. And one of the first things I tell kids when they come in and be like, I don't care what you did in the previous grade. All I care about is what you do now and what you do for me. And if you do what you're supposed to do, I got your back on things. And when you don't, I don't. And I think that's as like as real and honest as you can possibly be. So I get those types of kids and I get those types of classes. I had a kid last year who missed an immense amount of school, not in my class, but he was in fourth grade. This year, he missed like 5 days of school. Now, he might have been late a bunch, but he was in school and he was doing his work. And
Yeah.
a lot of that had to do with being able to kind of incentivize certain things for kids when you have them in your class, because not every kid's the same. Kids that were part of that morning show, talk about incentive, talk about having to do your homework, talking about having to keep your grades up, talking about like having to prove yourself. And if you didn't, you were pulled and somebody else came on. Like, and they knew it. And I didn't have parents complaining to me about that or squawk. Like, I had parents being like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
They listen to you. They
Well,
do
that's the
what
thing
you're
too.
supposed
The
to do.
incentives have been around forever. Think about it. I mean, they've been giving gold stars out on charts and no homework if you do this. And I mean, that's been going on forever. It was there when I was a kid. I
Yeah.
had a teacher that used to hand out, depending on what you got on a test score, he used to give out money with his face on it, and you could use that to not do homework or something like that. But again, that's just it motivates the kids to want to be better, to do better. So
Right.
and speaking of top administration, you had top administration participating in the rock paper scissors.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
That's what's
it's funny
crazy.
you just like literally took that out of my mind. Like, I was just about to say, like, last year, because these videos end up being like way bigger than we thought. Like, I was like, oh, these should be quick minute and a half videos that turned into like 6 or 7 minute videos,
Yeah.
because each entity that came, like the mayor came and brought like her staff, right? The chief of police came, brought a bunch of police officers. The sheriff of Middlesex County came with a bunch of his officers. Boston 25 News came and put it on the news.
You
Like,
went to the superintendent's
the
office.
superintendent's office and
Yeah.
battled her, and talk about a tremendous sport of having an invasion come into her office with kids holding signs, rooting on our rock, paper, scissors champion. And she was unbelievable. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, like, and on top of that, from what I was told, administration that following fall at their building administration meetings had a rock, paper, scissors tournament to literally open up their meetings. So talk about like that catching fire as a community. but it's immoral, it's unethical, and I'm making a profit off of it. And I look at the end of the day being like, why am I going to spend a ton of money out of my own pocket and lose? And yeah, I'm on a teacher salary. I work 4 jobs. It's not like I'm sitting in cruise control and have a beach house here and a nice car here. I drive a 2012 car. Like I make everything I can in my life work. But like, talk about like, just talk about like that whole thing. Like to me, it's just like, why would I want to spend money on people if people are then accusing me of making money on this? Like that's
And
like,
one of our main focuses with this whole platform has been giving back. I mean, every single year we're having the cornhole tournament, you know, and we're working with the Flutie Foundation. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
and on top of that, let's add to that. We also donated a communication board, playground communication board for every school in the city of Medford based off of what we do, spending money out of our own pocket. Again, not making a profit off of it and taking those funds and putting them in our pocket that we actually put into good use for our community, which is our goal. Like, and yeah, it's to me, it's just frustrating when other people do similar things that I do, but it's okay. Like, it's okay for people to freedom of speech and talk about administration and say what they want. That's not unethical. When people are videotaping their classrooms all the time and what they're doing in it, that's not unethical. I bring a building together, great grades K through 5 and 500 kids and teachers and everything else. And there's something wrong with what I'm doing. Everybody else, it's okay. Like
There's a word
that's
for that. I think it's was it jealousy?
maybe. I mean, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to
No,
say it because I'm sure if I
I will.
say it, I'm sure there's like a group
I have
text
no
that's going to go
problem
off
saying
about
it.
me.
Nope, that's what I would say it is. I mean, they should use you as a model. They should use the whole thing as a model and figure out their own ways of doing the same exact thing.
Right.
Like, why would you not want to create other events like this, you know, and take this and realize how important this is to the kids and just
Yeah.
do something on your own. Figure it out. Get creative, you
Yeah. I
know.
mean, it's wild. I don't mention names, but I mean, I even had a teacher who used to work at our school, like send me a message on social media, like being just not nice. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't work here anymore. Like, so it's just, it's wild to me. It's wild. But yeah, that's the truth. That's like 100% the truth. You asked, that's it. Like, I could be forgetting things, not that I'm forgetting bad things. I could just be forgetting other things that I didn't even think of that I went through in those like 3 months. But back to a last thing. We'll kind of wrap this up with a more positive thing. Our ice cream sundae contest this summer has got a tremendous amount of people DMing us, texting us, calling us with all sorts of suggestions, really across the state of Massachusetts, truthfully.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. I
W-
and unfortunately we have to test it too. We have to go out and eat
We got
ice
to
cream.
do it. I
Like, what
mean,
are we doing?
listen, eat ice cream, gain a little weight, it's what you do in the summer, I
That's what you
guess.
do.
But
Yeah.
I'm excited. You know, I've never heard of some of these places, but I'm getting names of places. I'm getting like detailed reasons why we should go there. YouTube videos of people who have visited some of these places, and so it's really interesting to kind of see our audience once again, like the Chini contest, really take a hold of this and run with it. We even posted on Facebook, and we don't post a lot on Facebook, but Facebook, even people were reposting it, sending us stuff, sending us places. So, you know, we're gonna release pretty soon, I think, where these spots are gonna be and the day that it's gonna happen, because John and I are doing this in a day. We're taking a day trip. We're inviting some guests to come with us, some special guests. We're gonna have a rating system on these ice creams of how we're gonna rate these places fairly without getting too much hate back from people.
This might
But
get canceled too.
we listen, beyond podcast could be unethical and moral as
Oh
well to the
Jesus.
ice cream eating contest. We'll see. But I think it's fun. It's just something different that we do. And again, we talk about supporting small business and talk about supporting places that are at their busiest peak right now with the hot weather and everything else. And we're gonna go around and give these places love. I mean, there's something wrong with us, I think.
I know, seriously. What are we doing?
But listen, man, I just want to say to you too on a personal level, like I really appreciate you because without you, this doesn't exist on this level. And I think what's really important is people don't realize that you are such a key piece to this. Like you are, like I joke like a lot sometimes, like almost like the Ernie Adams in a sense. Like whenever I'm doing something, you always just tweak it the right way or change it the right way or suggest something differently that just makes it so much better. And I appreciate that a lot because this this can't be done alone. There's a team of us, you and me, and we have some interns now. We have some people that want to get more involved in it. You know, and it's cool to think where we were doing this and where we are now. Now we're having deep discussions about our personal lives too.
Oh,
So
seriously. No, I appreciate it, brother. You're the engine, man. You've been keeping it going. And, you know, think about this. You started it during COVID and we're 4 years later and you're still rocking, man. I mean, and you ain't slowing down, which is great. You know, we're
yeah.
taking on new things all the time. We've changed things up. We've taken little breaks here or there, but that's only just to go back to the drawing board and figure stuff out. You know, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, and it's quality, not quantity, right? I mean,
Sure.
we need to take mental breaks. We need to get off the air a little bit. We need to not go out and record a million things. And truthfully, these last couple of weeks I've had off are weekends, and it was nice just to like hang out with the kids or catch up on stuff or go see friends. Like, you know, just
Yeah,
things that I haven't really been able to do because we talked about the Glory and the Pirates. Like that is consumed every weekend of mine since March, you know, and I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad that we were part of it. It helped build our business up, but it is nice to get that little time to go away and do some fun
absolutely.
things too, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely, man.
Well, listen, guys, this was awesome. I didn't realize I was going to get a lot off my chest here, but there it is. And,
Hmm.
but again, I mean it 150. We're so proud of ourselves for that. We set a really tough goal of, you know, 50 episodes in a year. I mean, we're basically averaging an episode a week minus a few weeks. So, that's pretty impressive what we've done and what we have coming up. You know, even in the fall, we got some more football programs that are jumping on board that are reaching to us on Twitter and want our services. And, you know, it's great to see that, you know, we have our existing, you know, clientele that constantly rebooks, but now we have all inquiries from everywhere. So we're excited, and yeah, I'm gonna say I'm really proud of us. I'm really happy with what we've done and what we continue to do. So
Absolutely. Think
yeah,
how many
man.
freshmen that we recorded 4 years ago that are gonna be seniors this year.
Like Justin Marino, I've thought about this so many
Isn't that crazy?
times. Of like, we were like, this kid's a super freshman, holy cow, and he's
Yeah.
gonna be a senior, dude. And
Yeah.
like,
Time
geez, like
flies.
you
Yeah.
know, and we catch him in every
Yep.
sport he plays, we catch him. You know, so yeah, it's kind of when you look at it like that, like we've gone and seen at least 8 or 9 of that kid's games, specifically baseball. I think we did like 2, 3 games last year, so we caught even more, you
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
seasonally. But
Yeah.
yeah, dude. So well, listen, guys, we got a lot of fun episodes coming up. We just taped a few before this one, but we want to make sure that this was our official 150. And we're super excited to kind of be covering some of these athletes that are heading off to college for the first time and playing a sport. So we're going to have a lot of, you know, super college freshmen popping on and letting us talk about the recruiting process and getting into some sessions and all that. So we're excited for the lineup we have and the fall that we have coming up. So I'm your host, Anthony Petralis, John Sensabar. Till next time.